Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're returning, thank you for watching my videos, and if you're new, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please like, share and subscribe. So today we're going to be talking about hair care tips for the winter, because your hair needs a lot more attention in the winter because it's colder, so your hair has to adapt to different climates. Obviously, like if you lived in like Hawaii or Nigeria or somewhere hot, then you're just lucky. But I live in England where it's really cold, and I know I have a lot of American subscribers, and I'm pretty sure that in places like New York, Atlanta, it's cold there. So if any of you live there, these tips might be useful for you. These tips are mainly for people who want to stay curly this winter and do not plan on straightening your hair. So just keep on watching. So, one tip I strongly suggest is protective styling. This is so important. You have to protect your hair. But when I say protective styling, as you know, I always mean with your own hair. Like, come on now. The best protective styles I'd say are buns, braid outs. I've actually done a braid out, but for ages my hair was just in a braid, and I literally took it down today for this video because I was looking like a kid. I'll insert a picture here, but I always put in some type of braid, twist out, braid out, cornrows with your own hair, buns obviously with your own hair. So just try and use your own hair, because nothing is going to work unless you use your own hair. Because let's be honest, people like to do things like braids in the season and weaves, but your edges, it's not going to stop your edges from receding and breaking. So just try and use your own hair. And also, but when I'm talking about protective styling, one style you should not do is wash and go. That is going to do nothing for you. In fact, it's going to help to destroy your hair, help make it more brittle, help make it more dry, and it's just an error. So do not do wash and goes. Okay, number 2 is using a lot of moisture and properly deep conditioning. I think I'm going to do a whole video dedicated to actually moisturizing your hair, so stay tuned for that. Because what I've noticed is that people, even I used to have this problem, you'll see so many videos of people just moisturizing their hair, but then they don't tell you what they do the other day. So the next day your hair will just be a dry hot mess. So make sure you're moisturizing your hair properly. A few things I do is just spray water my hair every day with conditioner and cream, but I'll go into more detail about that. I'll go into a lot more detail in terms of moisture in another video. I'll leave it solely for moisturizing your hair because that is so important. But what I would say is use more moisturizing deep conditioners. I've done a video for the importance of deep conditioning, which I'll link here, and I do plan to do top 5 deep conditioners just for the winter very soon. So stay tuned for that, because you need your moisture. So your hair has to stay moisturized, because if your hair is dry, it's going to break, and it's going to get a lot drier. It's a lot quicker to get drier, obviously, because it's cold, your hair is more brittle, so moisture is so important. Another thing, this kind of links back to wash and goes, but actually not necessarily. One thing is, don't go outside. Don't go outside with your hair wet, because just don't. You could probably catch pneumonia and you'll probably get ill. Like, it's such a bad idea. In the summer you can get away with that, like that breeze outside is good for your hair, but the cold winter, especially when it's been snowing and raining, don't do that to yourself, because you'll instantly regret it, and you will catch a cold, you will get ill, and all of it would have been for nothing, because your hair will probably still turn out like crap. So just avoid going out with wet hair. If you like to air dry your hair like I do, air dry it inside your house with the heating on. Then just stay in your house for like that whole day until your hair dries. Don't go outside. Another tip I would say is don't shampoo your hair as much. You should co-wash more, because especially if it's got sulfates, and especially if it's a clarifying shampoo, because they strip all of your natural oils, and it literally makes your hair start from fresh. It gets dry and everything. Especially since it's cold, you do not want any dry brittle hair. In fact, you want the most moisturized hair possible. So I suggest co-washing more, so that your hair doesn't get in that state. I'm not saying don't shampoo your hair, you should, but try and use a moisturizing shampoo so that your hair can still be moisturized. And if you do need to use clarifying, shampoo, which may happen like, you know, you can like get away with doing it like once every 2 months, so basically, or like once a month, depending on how dirty your hair is. If it's really dirty, obviously use a clarifying shampoo. Just don't try and use it so much because you don't want all of that stuff to just strip your hair and become dry. Okay, one thing people don't know is that in the winter your hair is actually really fragile. So people think, oh, it's not actually so fragile, it's probably like the same every other time of the year, but no, in winter it's especially fragile because it's getting exposed to cold and things that your hair is just gonna get dry. And our hair is naturally drier than most hair because obviously it's curly, so you need to be very careful with your hair. Make sure you're giving it protection. I'm kidding, I'm not, but you know what I mean. You need to give extra, you need to like really pay attention to your hair, give it extra care, give it extra moisture. So I would suggest having a dedicated routine every single week so that your hair is being healthy, deep conditioned, all of that. I will list some routines that I think you should do down below, but just know your hair is really fragile, so when you're doing styles, be a lot more careful with your hair. I'd probably say you can be finger tangling a bit more than using a brush because we don't want to yank out any hair. Obviously hair will be yanked out, but not yanked out, but hair will obviously fall, but because your hair is a lot drier, just be more careful with your hair. So I suggest probably more finger tangling a little bit more than you, instead of like using a brush, for example. Also, because hair is very fragile, what I suggest doing is using smaller sections when doing your hair instead of like doing a big section. Make sure you do smaller sections so that you can make sure your hair is properly detangled and properly moisturized. This will definitely help you, especially since it's very cold and we want to make sure every single strand of hair is coated with moisture. Also, another thing I suggest doing is more hot oil treatment. I'm going to be very honest, I've not done one yet, but I'm doing one this week. I don't frequently do oil treatments because I'm not really used to, but since it's winter, I strongly suggest you should, and I plan on doing at least once a month. I'm going to do oil treatments, and I'll tell you the oils I'm going to be using. Olive oil because it's great, probably castor oil, some other oils. If you want a video on oils to use for oil treatments, tell me. But oil treatments are very important to do because oils just do wonders for your hair. It helps strengthen your hair, it can coat your hair, making it more moisturized, and it's just really good. There's so many benefits to oil treatments. If you want a separate and more informative video on that, then let me know. But yeah, hot oil treatment is very important as well as deep conditioning. So obviously I prefer to deep condition more, but hot oil treatment, especially now it's cold, do it every 2 or 3 weeks or every month at least. Just incorporate it at least a few times during the winter period. Also, one thing I suggest is using thicker oils in the winter, or oils that penetrate through the hair. Now, oils that I like to use in the winter is almond oil, castor oil, and olive oil, and avocado oil. One of my favorite oils, well, the oil I'm using for this season is olive oil. Olive oil is great because it's one of the few oils that actually penetrate through the hair, and it's going to be great for hot oil treatments. I literally have used so much olive oil, and do you know the great thing about olive oil is that it's not expensive to get. Like other oils like avocado and all of them, you kind of probably mainly have to get them on Amazon. They can be more expensive, but olive oil, you just have to make sure it's the extra virgin olive oil, and you can just get it in Tesco's. Like when I tell you it's the same one that you use for cooking, you can put that in your hair. Just make sure it's extra virgin olive oil. You can get it in Tesco's, Morrison, Sainsbury's, and you know you can get those big ones for like how much? A few pounds, like £3-4. And you can use olive oil on your body, like skin, everything. So strongly recommend olive oil for this winter. Also, as well as thicker oils, it's good to use more butters. So mango butter is great for winter. There was this cream I used to use, QP Elasta mango butter. I'll link it down below. It was really good for softening your hair, and it had mango butter in it. But also you can also use shea butter, which I've been using a lot of this this season. It is so good. So I'd suggest for this winter, I strongly suggest extra virgin olive oil, shea butter, and mango butter. But one thing I always say for this season, do not use coconut oil because you're going to regret it. The same way it goes hard in the winter is the same way it goes hard in your hair, and we don't want it to make our hair hard. Okay. another important tip, and I always say this, but it's now especially more important now it's winter, because moisture just runs away, so you really need to keep it in, and that is to sleep with silk pillowcases. If you don't want to sleep with silk pillowcases, that is okay, but at least wrap your hair in silk or satin. I tend to use both because I want to make sure my hair is really keeping in that moisture. I don't want it running away anywhere because it is cold, it is winter, and I don't want my hair being damaged. So I make sure I sleep, well, to be honest, I do this every day of the year. I sleep with silk pillowcases, and I have a silk scarf. But I would just say it's more important, especially since it's winter, and winter moisture runs a lot quicker. It runs a lot quicker than in other seasons, so it's very important to keep it locked in, and silk will help you lock it in. I do know that silk scarves, obviously they're very, very expensive, so I understand if you don't want to get a silk scarf, but you can get silk pillowcases which are not so bad, under like £25 on Amazon. I'll put a link down below, but yeah, you actually can get, like, you know, a good price for real silk that does not like ruin. I've had this silk pillowcase for a very long time. It washes well. Every time I wash it, like, obviously I have to wash it because I'm dirty AF, but every time I wash it there's no issues. It doesn't like spread or anything, and it doesn't feel any different. So it was a very good quality silk I must have gotten. It was mulberry silk, so I'll put the link down for that below. Okay, my last tip is for if you do want to straighten your hair. Obviously I've been stressing being curly. I've noticed that a lot of people tend to straighten their hair in the winter, which even I used to do as well. I kind of low-key still kind of do it, and the reason is because obviously in the summer it's very hot, so our hair will get frizzy in the front and it'll just be like wasted energy. But one thing that you probably don't know is that straightening your hair, obviously I've been saying your hair is more fragile in the winter, so obviously straightening your hair is actually not good at all. It actually can damage your hair even more. So one thing I actually did, I said I was not going to blow dry my hair or use heat. I lied because it was my birthday. I decided I want something different, so I've actually had this blown out style for 2 weeks now. Finally going to wash it after Christmas or something like that. So yeah, but when I blow dried my hair, I didn't do it straight from when it was wet, because what people don't realize is that blow drying your hair when it's wet is really bad. Even if you use all the heat protectors in the world, you can use any heat protector and that's your business, it's still bad. So what I did was blow dry my hair when it was dry. I actually waited a few days because I didn't actually plan to blow dry my hair, but I had used all my curly hair products, and shockingly, obviously while I blow dried it again, I did put on, you know, some heat protectant. You always have to put heat protectant, but my hair came out really well soft, and it's still soft, obviously because I've been moisturizing as well, but my hair has just been soft in general. So if you really need to straighten it, just straighten it, but remember to straighten it in moderation. Don't use too much heat. Try and blow dry your hair when it's more dry so it doesn't get damaged as much. Always use a heat protectant, and try and do it probably like every 3 weeks. Try and stretch as long as possible. If you can stretch out to a month, better. And then try and do heatless styles with that, because things like this, I did a braid out, it's lasted so long. To be honest, my hair's been in braids most of the time, but then every time I braid it out, all you have to do is just braid it up again, and it's like all fine. So if you can't do any of these tips, because I know that curly hair is hard to maintain, and if you don't have that time, energy or passion to care for your hair in the winter, just straighten your hair, because your hair will break and it'll be even more damaged than if you straighten your hair just to get out of the way. So if you're not going to be able to care for your hair, I do suggest that you straighten your hair, but straighten it in moderation. If you found these tips helpful, please like, share and subscribe, and see you in my next video.